knitters, it's Leslie here with YYC Knits. I just focused the camera into this gorgeous picture here, and I just can't get over how beautiful it is. Like, so much squishy beautifulness with even my Starbucks cup that my good friend Mi-san gave me, and my yellow hutch that I redid in the background, and yeah, so much fun. This is done with Annie Sloan's English yellow, I believe it is. And I had so much fun redoing it. It's a Canadian-made Vilas that I actually picked up off Kijiji and refinished. And the top is beautiful, and I'd show you, but it's like filled with junk right now, so you can kind of see it there. But yeah, it turned out really, really good. I'm very pleased with it. I still have the top, like the hutch part to do, but it's coming. Anyways, I just wanted to come on here today and show you what is going on. I'm gonna make a couple videos, just kind of like like a knitter's diary, and show you kind of my works in progress and a few of the things that I have on the go. So for starters here, I've been working this design for a hat for my daughter, and we actually have had quite a bit of fun with it because I've had little ones making me some knitting charts, which is super fun. This is actually Fuzzy. And he's a bear. He's my daughter's bear, and she drew this picture, and she says, "Mom, you know why there's spaces here? Because his arms are beside him, and he's got his basket and his picnic blanket, and you know, there's a butterfly and clouds in the sky and sun." So fun, so much fun. So yeah, I think I might just have to put this into some sort of design. But what we're working on here is a little hat that I've designed, and I started working it on, oh my gosh, it's been a long process. There's been a lot of ripping and tearing, but I'm not crying yet, so that's a good thing. But I've decided to do a brioche rib with a German cast on, which is super extra stretchy. And that way, it's just as stretchy as the fabric, so there's no, there's no tension there, which is nice. My other hat design, Stripes, that I have on Ravelry under YYC Knits, I actually ended up doing a ridiculous provisional cast on, and then ended up doing an extra stretchy cast off to get this until I found this German cast on. So I'm gonna have to do an update for that pattern as well, because there's a lot of fussing with it. So just to let you know, so I started this hat with this amazing Malabrigo that was actually right from the factory. So they sent me this to design something with, and actually there's a little backstory, but that's okay. So this is Malabrigo Rios in the color of Archangel, and I've had it sitting around for a bit, and I've been looking at it and studying it and thinking, okay, what is that gonna be? So I decided to, as I was knitting this hat out of, you know, the ever so lovely real wool, this is Patton's Classic, and I started knitting it, and you know, there's a definite difference in the Pattons and the Malabrigo. How can I put it? It's not so bad like cardboard versus butter, but it's actually just, it's not gonna cut it. Beside this Malabrigo, it just really takes away from the Malabrigo. So I dived into my store, and you can purchase this online, and my camera is not even doing this yarn justice. Okay, so that's a little better. This is one of my favorite colorways that is repeatable, that I I can kettle dye up to order on any of our bases, which are actually named after a Calgary park. So you can find those on yycknits.com. So I've decided to trade out the Patton's Classic, which just is not doing this any justice, this beautiful Malabrigo any justice. And I've decided to trade it out for my Riley Park base, which is just delicious and squishy and gorgeous. So we've got these two guys gonna be knit up as we speak. So yeah, so this is our Riley Park. It's a 200 yards of worsted weight. So yeah, I pulled that out of my shop today to knit up this lovely hat. So I will just pause the camera. I'm gonna rip this back to the beginning. Get my beautiful cake of Malabrigo set up here for knitting, and I will show you step by step how we're going to construct this hat, including the Brioche Setup Round and the Brioche ribbing and everything. So this is how it's gonna look. So I'll be back in a bit. Okay, so we are back, and we are going to cast on using a German longtail cast on. So this pattern calls for 90 stitches to be cast on. So we're going to take 1 foot for every 20 stitches. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and a little bit, yeah, roughly that much. And we're going to take our 4.5 needles today. And we're going to do a German cast on. So again, I never like to knot my knitting, so I just go on top of my yarn, and then I kind of twist it around like so. And I'm going to go around the thumb, in through here, and around like so. I do have a video showing the German cast on, the extra stretchy German cast on. So if you need help with that, definitely check out that video on my YouTube channel for extra help with the German cast on. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast on 90 stitches plus 1, so 91. And then we're going to do a jogless join in the round. And I think I messed up here, so I'm just gonna slip these off. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. It's super stretchy and beautiful. I just cannot get enough of these colors. They're just, oh, so gorgeous. So yeah, so we're gonna just continue along here doing our cast on. And like I said, we'll cast on 90 plus 1. We'll do a jogless join, and we'll be ready to start our Brioche Setup Round. So I'll just pause the camera here and cast on the additional stitches until we have 91 on our needle. Okay, so I'm just having a sip of my coffee with cinnamon today. It is a beautiful day in Calgary.
16 plus 8.
What? 16 plus 8?
Yeah.
Come on. You tell me.
24. Is that right? 24?
Evan, yes, it is. Wow, good addition. I had to do it on paper. Good job, sweet. What's the temperature in Calgary today? It is a gorgeous, snowy, wintry day in Calgary, Alberta, Canada today. And I am so happy to live in this country. I feel so blessed. And that is the snowy scene outside. we're just hanging out. We've got our stitches cast on, and I am super happy. You have no idea. So this is what I was knitting with, this Patton's Classic. And there's just no comparison to this kettle-dyed Buddha. And of course, the amazing Malabrigo Rios in the colorway of Archangel. So yeah, from this to this. Happiness. All right, so I've got 90 plus 1, so I just cast on 1 extra stitch in order to do my jogless join in the round. So as you know, I just put cream on my hands. I had a big glob there. As you know, when you're knitting in the round, you're knitting in a spiral. So when we join these two together, we're going to try and get rid of that by just slipping 1 stitch over to the right hand needle, casting off this second one in by slipping that over. And then we're going to put it back onto the left hand needle, and this is where we are going to start our beginning of round. So we'll put this beautiful little stitch marker that my friend Carla Jean gifted to me, and we're going to begin by knitting 4 rounds to make our rolled up brim. So I'm just gonna pause the camera to not bore you with my knitting of the 4 rounds. And when we're done that, we get to do our setup for our brioche. Okay, so we are back and we're just coming to the end of our 4th round. And we'll just slip our marker. And so here begins, we've done 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of just plain knit, and the reason we do that is to get a nice little rolled up brim on this hat. Adds a little bit of whimsy. It's great for a child's hat, and you can see how stretchy this German cast on is. It's absolutely amazing. So it's just as stretchy as the fabric that's knit. There's no tension there at all whatsoever, which is great. So very happy with that. We lost our little marker here, so we'll put our marker back in. So the hardest part right now, I do have, and I had to resort to my own video to do brioche again because it had been quite some time, so don't feel bad. It happens to the best of us. And so I'm just gonna move this into the light because it's just so pretty. And here's our latest design. So yeah. So okay, so basically you can watch my video on how to do the brioche that I did a pretty intensive how-to for our stripes the hat, but what I'm gonna do is just jump in and give you some I guess intermediate pointers, or for those of you who have done it before or it's been a while. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So the hardest part, like I said in my other video, was doing the brioche setup round, because you don't really see what's going on in that round, and it's easy to make a mistake. So just yeah, so I'll just start here by letting you know that whatever yarn you want to be your knit stitch or your predominant color, you're gonna start with as your main color, and the not so predominant color or your contrasting color is going to be done in your contrasting colorway. So for our first round, we're going to start with our main color, which I want to be this, you know, I haven't named this colorway, but this is my own hand-dyed yarn in our Riley Park base. It's a worsted weight, and I don't know, I just haven't fell in love with any colorway names yet, but if you want to name that colorway, I fall in love with what you come up with, definitely comment below, and if I love what you call it, I will send you a skein of this colorway for free if I decide to go ahead and pick that colorway. So yeah, we can have make a little game out of it here, a little giveaway. So I love sending yarn all over the world, and definitely if I decide to go with it, then you get a free skein of this lovely Riley Park base. But it's got to be unique. It can't just be, you know, blasé. Okay, so here we are here. So Brioche Setup Round, I'm going to use this as my main color. I'm going to do and you can write this down. So it's simple. It's knit 1, yarn over, okay, slip 1 purlwise. That's it. Knit 1, yarn over, slip 1 purlwise. So basically you're doing a knit 1, you're bringing your yarn to the front, okay, and you're slipping 1 purlwise. So knit 1, yarn to the front or yarn over, and slip 1 purlwise. Knit 1, bring your yarn to the front and slip 1 purlwise. With brioche, a great thing to remember is whenever you're slipping that every second stitch you're slipping, you're always going to slip it purlwise. Your yarn always has to be in the front. So that's it. It's pretty simple. So as you can see, this one is the wrapped stitch with the yarn over. Okay, every second stitch is the wrapped stitch with the yarn over, and every second other stitch is just the normal knit stitch. So if you get confused or you don't remember where you're at, you can just remember that, and it gets pretty fluid. Once you get a little hang of it, you know, you just you just go with it. So yeah, so you can just study your stitches. So here's the wrapped stitch, or the brioche stitch. Normal stitch, brioche, normal, brioche, normal, brioche, normal, brioche, normal. So your brioche stitch is just your wrapped stitch with your yarn over. So I am going to continue doing this singular easy setup round. So like I said, you can write it down. So here we've got our knit stitch. So we're going to bring our yarn to the front, slip this one, and knit. Yarn to the front, slip, knit. Yarn to the front, slip, all the way around. Then we're going to bring in our second color, or our contrasting color. So I'm going to continue around, make sure I didn't make a mistake here. Every second stitch is the wrap stitch. And we are good to go, so I'm just going to pause it and continue, and then I'll be back.